All right, it's time. Well, everyone, we're going to go ahead and give you a briefing on what's been going on and help set some expectations for the campaign start timeline. I want to focus first on just giving some thanks for the grace that you guys have provided. I know that it's been like, hey, what's going on? Where's the communication? So sorry about that. We're usually very, hey, here's what's going on. And, we definitely don't want to be misleading in any way. Just want to give you an idea of why we've been kind of in this mode for the last few days and, when we can get going. So if you went to our homepage and saw the README recently of the game update 136.9.0, there was a lot of stuff in there. It's our first release since mid-December 2020. And therefore, there's a great deal of items in there. If you can, whoever's got that link, please post it in the gateway for the benefit of other people here. Just post the README link. It's on the homepage, worldwartwine.com, third article down. It will show you all the contents that are in there. It includes 4 roadmap deliveries, pretty significant. Bomber loadouts, allowing mission target change, some HUD transparency stuff, and a Panzerjäger 1. There's a shit ton of bug fixes in there. There's some good features in there, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we have been working pretty aggressively this last week. I mean, we've been working on this patch for a while, but we've been trying and running into several issues trying to release it this week. We normally don't say, hey, we're going to release it on this day. We've been very careful and I think wise for not doing that, given that our initial timelines for doing this have been extended, because we've been running into significant issues with some things that we missed during testing. We've also been resolving them, and I'm happy to report that all but one of those issues do seem to be resolved, and we're working on that other one literally right now. Our terrain guys creating a new terrain build after we found an issue. So what that means is we are trying to get you this patch as soon as possible, and preferably before the campaign starts. There's a lot riding on this patch. We've built up the Panzerjäger 1 to be a Matilda killer. This is vital for the Axis community, and so they're looking forward to that. But it's also much bigger than that. It's a very big release with things for our bomber pilots. For the first time ever, bomber pilots will be able to select their loadouts. All that stuff we talked about in the roadmap. The HUD transparency is also very good. It helps you control what objects you can see through in your game, and it helps create a more immersive display and an environment for you. And then also, one of the things we've had a lot of challenge with, but have now fixed, was the allowing mission target change. And the short version of what that means, thanks Tex for posting that. The short version of what that means is when you're on mission, especially talking to our pilots, but even mission leaders, guys who are setting up mobile spawns. Imagine having the ability to create your mission, and then as your mission develops, you can change the target of that mission. Well, guess what? Effective this patch, you can do that. So it's also significant because it not only changes the target of your mission, it changes the target channel to be connected with the actual, target according to that mission. So if you started out as a forward base bust, right, but then you went to a town defense, or maybe you went to the town attack, normally and all the way through World War II Online's history, you haven't been able to connect with people on that channel. With this, you can now. And also for mobile spawn makers, you can change your target position, and therefore the distance between. Maybe you want to go on the west side. Maybe that's a better spot for you. But you place your mission originally on the east side. Now you just open up the map tools, change your target to the west side CP, bam, you're right where you want to be, and you can plant your mobile spawn where you want it. Again, there are a lot of changes. One of the other big things is a huge performance boost for AMD users. We experience 50% or greater game loading times for users who are on, AMD. That's a big deal. And sorry to you guys it took so long, but with some hard work from our team and some solid testing, they've been able to figure out how to do a better job with that. And if you go look at the README, go to the gateway right now, open that up, and just kind of scroll through it. And if you have questions about that, I'll be happy to accept some after we're done talking. So now I kind of want to transition the discussion into just sort of saying thanks for your grace, and then we'll go to our campaign start and help set expectations for what's coming. So I know, again, that this has been a little bit odd. We haven't had the campaign not start like this in a while. The last time I can probably recall is when we transitioned things from Texas to Portland. This stuff happens sometimes. We do our best to make the experience for you as routine as possible. But in order for us to make real progress, like in a monster patch like this one, not everything goes according to plan. And that is certainly the case here. And for that, we do apologize for the delays. However, we've had an accessible game. It may not be the experience you all want, but it's there. And we are working around the clock right now with our team to try and get this resolved. If everything goes correctly, and we get that fixed from our terrain guide tonight, which is what we're working on, we anticipate being able to create a new build no later than tomorrow morning. What that means is the thing that you guys download and play the game with, we have to test and just make sure all of our latest changes have gone well. It is our highest mission, but I'm not saying it's going to happen because there's a lot, we have to test still. We're trying to get this patch out to you by Thursday. If we do that successfully, if we're absolutely confident we can get this patch out to you by this Thursday, a couple days from now, we'll do it. And I'll keep you guys posted and do a better job with communications about that. Tonight's just about helping to set expectations. And I thank our community management team for doing their best with, it's really hard. I was community manager once, if you guys remember. It's very hard to talk to you guys candidly and help set real expectations when we're waiting on critical stuff from multiple people. It's virtually impossible, but these guys have done well. And to all of you who are out there showing your support and keeping your squad, calm, thanks for doing that as well. So Thursday, there is a possibility it will not be available on Thursday and that we can't release. We'll be talking about opening up the campaign as soon as possible. We are trying to avoid launching the campaign at this moment, at least, and with a maximum delay for Friday. If by Friday the patch is not out, we will start the campaign, and we have to do that. Ideally, the patch is out. There's no worries. Everything's great. All that good shit's in there. That's what we're trying to do. But we will start the campaign no later than Friday. Okay? If we and I'll let Ohm talk about that more. Ohm is our game manager. We'll let him talk about that more if he'd like. But that's sort of, I'm confident at this stage that that's when our development team and everybody can get this all ironed out and out to you guys. But again, anything goes. So Thursday is our intended target goal for releasing that big patch, the README, again, in the Gateway channel at the top of Discord. Check it out. Tons of good stuff. Ohm, was there anything that you wanted to chime in about in terms of campaign and starting expectations, anything like that?
Good evening, everybody. The campaign is going to start Friday, and it'll be Friday evening after I get home from work, and we'll get that rolling. Most of the settings are going to be like they've been before. Tier might roll a little faster than the last campaign to push it through. It all depends on what the patch does. For spawn delay, we might reduce it just a little bit on our side, make everybody be able to get back into fighting action. So when the sides get a little off balance, hopefully it won't get off balance, but that is the only foreseeable changes. And if we get the patch and we get the Panzerjäger in there, which will be with that patch, the numbers are going to be close to what the Maddies are, maybe a little bit more, but we're still determining those exact numbers yet. So, and you got to remember that unit is going to be up and down the entire line, the front line and the back line. So it doesn't matter if it's against Brit units or French units. There's going to be in every unit. So that's how that is. That's about it for right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Matildas are only in UK units. The Panzerjäger 1 will be throughout the entire front line. It's a very important point to consider. And we'll, when the patch does come out, we'll give you better expectation for what that supply will be. I want to invite our community manager, T-Man, if he's got any words to share with you guys, to go ahead and do so now. T-Man, you are unmuted, but we can't hear you, so check your transmit key. User settings, bottom left, voice and video. This is why he hates Discord, by the way.
Well said.
Okay, so he just rage quit? No, he'll be back. Let me go over to Tex64, the Axis, one of the Axis community managers. Tex, is there anything you want to share with the Axis community or the community at large?
Well, I you know, like I said earlier this afternoon, I think one of the things that we have always, as a player, wanted to make sure that we would rather it be released right than rushed, and we certainly appreciate the dedication of our volunteers, development team, and testing teams to bring this forward this far. So we'll take it as it comes, and let's just keep coding.
Yep, amen to that. T-Man, you want to try again? Okay, still muted. Blackhawk 8, you're one of the Allied community managers. Anything you want to address the community about?
No, I think this is the right move. Get the patch off on the right foot. Make sure everything's working correctly. Looking forward to another good, solid campaign, and go from there.
All right, cool. We want to give T-Man one more chance, but I want you guys to be thinking about questions about this release, about the campaign, and very shortly after T-Man's done, we're going to be inviting you guys to raise your hand. Look at the bottom of Discord. There's a raise hand button, and that's a request. If you'd like to speak and ask a question in front of everyone, we'll do a quick Q&A. T-Man, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, got it. Just want to take a quick minute to thank everybody, really, for their patience here, and recognize wasn't our plan, but we're in it. We're going to support it, and we're going to be playing by Friday night. So hopefully we'll be playing with a patch, and really want to thank the high commands. I mean, there's been a lot of back channel communication going on with them to get their people ready, be ready to go 24 hours, and they've been really flexible, really good in trying to keep probably the majority of you guys calmed down. But thanks for being here. Thanks for understanding. Appreciate it.
Okay, very good. So now is the time. If you have questions, and I'd like them to be please directed right now at this README for this update and the campaign. If you're going to ask me about random stuff, we probably won't answer it because we want to stay focused on the topic. Okay. So at the bottom of Discord, show requests, put your hand up, and we'll start asking, having you guys talk. And just please ask one question. Then what we'll do is we'll answer that and then move on to the next person. Okay, so we're going to start off with KRM92. Here we go. So we'll invite you to speak, and then you should get a prompt at the bottom of your screen, most likely, and okay it. Karen, you want to say something? I can't hear you.
Okay, there it goes.
Go ahead.
So the AMD fix, you said 80% faster?
We experienced 50% or greater. In some cases, it was that high, but everyone's different. So we chose a safe number of saying about 50%.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep, very good. Okay, moving on next. All right. Let's see. McAfee, go ahead. Should have got a prompt at the bottom of your screen and accept that. Then you should be moved into the speaker group. There you go.
All right. Thanks, guys. Just a quick question on the start of the new campaign. Why not start the new campaign and just do the patch when it's ready?
Okay, good question. I'll go ahead and answer that. Right now, we're trying to start the camp. When we bring out a new vehicle of any kind on either side, we want to start the campaign with it already in play. We have found when we've done patches historically to introduce new equipment, when we add it midway, it causes problems. And in particular, the Panzerjäger 1, because it's being labeled as, and we showed a demonstration video of it being able to kill some heavier Allied Tier 0 tanks, Matilda, Char, stuff like that. If we threw that in later on after the campaign started, then we would see quite a few issues with that. So that's why we're holding out, and we have a firm deadline that no matter what, by Friday, we'll get the campaign operational for you. So the community, you guys need to be prepared for whether it's in there or not, that new vehicle. And this is your heads up. And also, please note that another takeaway is we're doing everything we can to see this through. And if it doesn't come through, that's going to be unfortunate. But, you know, there's still going to be a firm timeline to start regardless. So High Command should be preparing. They should have their battle plans and people ready to go for Friday kickoff no matter what. Okay, we're going to move on. We'll invite to Mad Dog Mattis. Check the bottom of Discord, accept that invite, and then start talking. Come on, Mad Dog. Okay. Well, we're going to move on from that. Try and figure that out. We're going to go to Gervleth next. Here we go.
Hello, I'm just looking at the new props being added into the game. Is that going to be throughout the whole entire map? And also, when you say more, what else are you guys adding to that?
Well, I wish TR6Al was here. Good question. Well, there's all sorts of props. We have added, let's see, first off, you probably saw a cow on there, which was pretty funny. We have seen just lots of reused pieces throughout. So we've seen some newer rocks, I should say. We've seen some, there's some boats being added that are not usable, but are environmental, so playable. There's been a crane added. There's been new sort of more organic looking and randomized earthworks, whether that's, you know, like I said earlier, boulders or tree logs laying down. So TR6Al, who's our terrain guy, he's right now working on trying to get these fixes in play for you guys so we can get this patch released. He has been doing a lot of work to not only fix the bugs you guys are reporting, and thank you for doing that, but also trying to add a lot more, I'd say, life and organic feel, you know, a natural feel to how things are working. And there's more props. You'll see them once you get in the game. There's a lot of cool stuff. Okay, I'm going to invite Trevor 8 to speak. Trevor 8, look at the bottom of Discord. Should have got some sort of notification.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Actually, at the top of Discord is where my issue.
Okay.
So for the HE shrapnel bug, major HE shrapnel bug, is that all HE in the game, or is it certain units? Can you elaborate on that any?
Sure. Let me see. I think I see Hatch here. Hatch, I'm gonna invite you to talk because I think you'd be a great person. Actually, Cardex here. Yeah, I'll let Hatch do that. Hold on. Hatch, I just invited you to speak at the top of Discord. Go ahead and accept that. And if you'd like to answer, what does the HE shrapnel bug cover? I think you'd be great at explaining that.
Okay, can people hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. What primarily happened was that we were having a problem. Actually, this isn't we per se, this team. It was we kind of inherited it, and it was a problem with the primarily the ground-based HE. I don't think it was common. I think it was selectively applied to the armored vehicles. And what the problem was that if you had an external HE hit on the side of your vehicle that did not penetrate, when it exploded, shrapnel was somehow able to get inside that vehicle and without interacting with the armor. We're not really sure. Again, this is kind of inherited, the effect. So what the other team did was they basically just threw out HE hits that did not penetrate armor. So if you had, just as an example, if you were flinging HE at an armored vehicle and it had a crew or a couple of guys standing beside it, when it hit the side of that vehicle, it would just it wouldn't do anything. It just sort of got thrown out. And I can't remember if you still saw ghost round impact or not, but the bottom line is that all the physics for that hit, if it didn't penetrate armor, it just got tossed out, which is a pretty big deal. So we've had this on the list to address for quite some time, and Cardac was able to. We finally got it got its time in the sun, and Cardac was able to address that issue. So it's going to be turned back on for all vehicles in the game. Like I said, I don't think it was. It was a. I think it was selected for ground vehicles. I don't think they had it turned off in air vehicles because the way their armor works is a little bit different. As far as you're generally going through a thin aluminum skin, which sets off your fuse usually prior to impacting any actual armor inside of the aircraft. Whereas on a ground vehicle, that the first thing you impact is the armor. So, anyways, so that's being turned back on, and I'm not exactly sure. I believe that he also, again, this was more of a development issue rather than a production one. So I haven't seen the total effects of it. But another problem we had was in the case of a penetration by an explosive round, you didn't have a penetration. The feedback that you got from that hit was a problem, meaning that at some point along the production line, I don't know if you guys remember, how many of you guys are old timers remember way back, you'd always get a black spot indicating a penetration regardless. And then whenever the round exploded, you would also get the explosion animation. And they lost that penetrative indicator as well. My boat probably couldn't even tell at range, but you could at closer distances, you could see a penetrating round go through the armor, or well, you couldn't see the penetration of it, but you would see the explosion inside the tank, sort of throwing little sparks and stuff from like inside the vehicle. And I'm not positive, but I think he also addressed that hit indicator, penetration indicator on those types of rounds as well. I think that's pretty much it.
All right, very good. Okay, thanks for the explanation. It's going to be a big deal. So I'll go ahead and invite sent to Von Douche. Douche, at the top of your screen, you should see a button that popped up. There you go.
Yeah, I didn't read it, but is that causeway going to be put across? And if it is, will it allow DDs to?
DD's through? Was that the question?
Yeah.
No, I don't think Hatch. I'm pretty sure DDs aren't going to get through that, right?
Nope.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
but it's significant in terms of being able to connect those two islands together. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the question. Yeah. So he's talking about the new causeway there in Vlissingen Island, connecting, I believe, is it Gravenpolder Island? Whatever the island east of Vlissingen is, there's going to be a bridge for people to get across. So it's going to be a big deal. Next, we'll go to Kelmal. Kelmal, top of your screen, there's a join button, I think. So there you go. And I can't hear you speaking if you're trying. Still nothing. Dead air. I don't even see a mic key getting clicked. So go to your user settings at the bottom left, the gear, and then on the left of that, go to voice and video. Check your transmit key. New technology, they said. No problem, they said. Okay. All right, Kilball, I've returned you back to the other users. You're welcome to put your hand up again. I'll bring you in once you get your microphone resolved. We're going to move to Fercho Zuna. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just small input. I just wanted to say great game, and that's pretty much it.
Cool. Are you new to the community?
Yeah, I recently joined. I never heard about the game, but when I saw like there's a World War II game, it's like massively multiplayer and stuff. I was pretty psyched. So I'm just like getting into it, like slowly, I guess, because of life.
Man, are you joining us from Steam?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Well, do us a favor. If you're totally on your own, if you'd like to do it, great. It would help. But if you're enjoying your experience, give us a good Steam review. We would appreciate that. But welcome aboard.
Sure thing. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to Dilems now. Dilems, top of your screen, click the button. Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
We got you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just wondering if there's been a bug reported, or at least I reported it, regarding like when FMBs shoot AP or HE at other FMBs or other even DDs, and I've heard a lot of tankers reporting it, where the rounds seem to pass through the vehicle or FMB. I've seen it both on DDs and FMBs, and it generally seems to happen as you get closer and closer to the enemy ship. I'm just wondering if that's been looked at or anything, status on that.
All right, cool. Good stuff. Hatch, any feedback, or Old Zeke, either one of you guys got anything on that?
I'm not sure if I'm not clear if this is I think this is an AI rounds that he's talking about rather than player rounds, or which would it could be a ghost round issue.
Yeah.
If you're a third person rather than the actual shooter, you're kind of seeing a ghost round that may or may not show an impact. The shooter sees the impact, does all his damage stuff, and but a third party observer may not. He may see that go through a
Right.
vehicle or something. I'm not sure which one we're actually talking about.
Okay. Well, we get plenty of reports from Dilems. We'll dig into that and determine. We'll have our QA team determine whether or not those are AI-based rounds. But I think what I heard was more from user to user. So from the FMB and from destroyers manned by persons that their rounds were going through. But to be honest, we'll dig into that, but it's not necessarily related to this upcoming release or the upcoming campaign. So let's try to stay focused on that, please. I'm going to invite Trevor 8. Trevor 8, you got something else? Go ahead.
When it comes to bomber pilots can select their desired bomb payload loadouts, did y'all go historical with that, or how did y'all decide which loadouts we could pick? And like, for example, can I just take one big bomb in AT-111?
Okay, good question. So how we came about all of that was, yes, I would say Hatch historical loadouts. I think we.
Yes, they're
so we were all drinking one night and just threw some dice around and went for it. No.
No, they're historical, and they're not inclusive of every single possible loadout that they could have. They're basically a subset of, I want to say, the default, which was what they have been since day one, and then two alternate loadouts.
Right.
The Heinkel, especially the H4 version that we have, I think it's the H4 version, it had bomb. I'm trying to remember. It's like cartridges inside the bomb bay that could either hold one SC-250 or four SC-50s. So its loadout combination then is therefore, I want to say that one's either the 8 SC-250s or 8. I want to say we gave it a full loadout of the SC-50s or a combination of both.
Yeah, we did. So the standard loadout for the Heinkel is the 8 250s. Then we gave it 32 50s.
Yeah.
And then 16 50s and 4 250s. That's what it was.
Right.
Okay. So there will be 2 to 3 options for you to select for your bomber loadouts, depending on what bomber it is. We have shared those on our roadmap. We'll post the link for that for you so you can kind of evaluate it. We'll put that in the gateway here momentarily. But yeah, as he said, you'll only be able to select a couple loadouts, not have every single possibility, or determine on your own how many bombs of what type you want. That would be really cool, but we were working within the framework that we had available. By the way, I should note that the supply availability of these bombers are not affected based on the loadout that you decide to go for. So whatever the current campaign numbers are now, that's what they will be when this goes live. So you don't have to have that type of bomber or that type of bomber. It's just you get a Heinkel, pick your loadout, and go. And also for like the A20, the DB7, the Boston, and the Stuka also has secondary loadout on that one. So that's what you should be expecting. And this is a really great way for us to repurpose and further expand the depth and capabilities of these bombers. We do appreciate our bomber crew, and we know that it's been a long time since we've had some good stuff for you. So Hope this helps. I look forward to seeing what you guys do in the game. Hatch, did you have something else, or did you just key your mic?
No, I didn't know I keyed it.
Okay. All right. Well, I currently I don't have any. Oh, did you have something?
Yeah, just before everybody books, I just changed the map up. So get in there and have fun. I'm going to turn unlimited supply off.
Good stuff. Okay, so a quick wrap up. We talked about why there's been a delay. We're trying to push a very critical and large game update to you guys. Okay, we're trying to get it out before the campaign starts. We're hoping to get that released to you by Thursday, but we cannot guarantee it. What we will guarantee is that the campaign will start Friday. We'll get back to you on a timeline. We'll let you know by Thursday when to expect that, but high command teams and community members should be ready. We will also need your understanding that if we have to do this patch later, God forbid something happens, that the implementation of this vehicle or the lack thereof, you guys are prepared, and we're trying to be as absolutely transparent with you as possible as to why that may be. So I hope that this demonstrates our, first off, integrity, but also trying to ensure that we maintain good comms with you as much as we can. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Take care. Talk to you later. Let's go.